In front of her husband and child, a thug brazenly slipped his hand under the woman's skirt. Her husband, Will, immediately tried to stop him, but one of the thug's accomplices pulled a revolver and aimed it at him. The thug yanked the wife into his arms. Will knocked the gun away, but the thug grabbed their son, who had picked up the weapon, and used him as a hostage. Will had no choice but to surrender. The two men kicked him off the carriage and took off. Will got up and chased after them desperately. On the road, he found his son lying in the middle of the street. Cradling the boy, he ran after the carriage again. He saw the thugs picking up the weapon from the roadside. Will caught up and shot both men dead, but when he opened the carriage door, he found his wife had taken her own life. He was devastated. For 2 years, Will had worked tirelessly just to bring his wife and child to live with him, but one of the thugs Will killed was the younger brother of Negan, the local tyrant. Negan threatened the mayor and the sheriff. Find the man who killed his brother, or he'd make 2 townspeople suffer in his place. So they dragged out an old woman and a disabled man to bear the punishment. Then, Negan randomly picked one more lucky onlooker from the crowd. Will and his brother Jack returned to town, selling off all their belongings, planning to leave for good. The mayor, suspicious when Will readily agreed to a lowball offer, had Will surrounded and beaten until he collapsed. He was thrown in jail. Jack was also captured. Will offered to take full responsibility if they'd let Jack go. Instead, the sheriff handed Will over to Negan. They strung Will up under the scorching sun. Negan came to watch, bringing along Eva, his brother's stolen wife. Meanwhile, the mayor had taken all of Will's money. Jack provoked the guards, and when they came close, he struck. He freed Will, but they were quickly discovered. Jack took down 2 more men, stole 2 horses, and fled with Will. The commotion drew more guards. Jack hid Will behind a pile of rocks and led the pursuers away. When Will woke up, he saw he had been dragging Jack's lifeless body behind him. Now it was revenge he wanted. He stormed the mayor's house and took back what was his. The mayor confessed that he and Negan had been colluding to oppress the townspeople. Will sought out the town's arms dealer. Soon after, a single horse pulling a coffin appeared at Negan's compound. Inside was the mayor's corpse. Just then, the nearby barn went up in flames. Will ambushed the guards with deadly precision. From the rooftop, he picked them off one by one. Down below, a man with glasses heard movement above and fired wildly into the ceiling, shattering the kerosene bottle on Will. Flames erupted, engulfing the man with glasses. Will spotted Eva being held hostage and saved her, but the gunfire had given away his position. He was shot in the thigh. As he tried to return inside, Negan shot him, but Eva, finally free after years of abuse by the Negan brothers, pulled the trigger from behind. The sheriff and his men arrived, but Will had no interest in talking. When they threatened him, he made it clear he wasn't afraid. They backed off. Will and Eva rode off together toward a new beginning. From that day on, they lived a peaceful and happy life.